Some exciting times are ahead. I hope you will stay with me. That's a lot of hoping in there, but hey, sometimes that's all you got to go on. The barking dogs settle. All right, welcome back again, Nomies. We're back in Pearl to do some more wiring. Wiring on the roof, that is. Yeah, we're kind of down to the job of just pulling wire and getting it tensioned up and attached. And that's not going to be the most exciting thing in the world, so we're going to see if we can start out today by getting through all that just as fast as possible. We have the tools all charged up and ready to go. We have plenty of wire. I guess all that remains is let's get started. And a good place to start will be drilling the rest of the screw holes we're going to need today all at once. Okay, so that's one end. Now let's get the other. Now, the remaining screws are in place. It's time to start wiring. as you can probably see now, after getting 2 more wires up, darkness is setting in. So it's getting too dark to film. We'll resume this tomorrow, when hopefully things will be a little bit brighter. And just like that, a brand new day is upon us. So there are 3 more wires that I'd like to get installed before we go any further. Let's see just how quickly we can get them up there. So, that gives me 8 wires running front to back. Now, they probably still are going to have to be tweaked a little bit. I dare say they still need to be, well, in some cases, tensioned up a little bit more. But the idea is here, and we've got them installed. Now, whether or not they're going to accomplish exactly what I'm hoping they'll accomplish, well, time will tell. We'll have to actually check the tensioning on all of them and, I don't know, maybe get up on the roof and see what kind of effect it may or may not be having on the looseness of that aluminum roof. It's actually sprinkling outside right now, sprinkling rain a little bit, so we really can't get up there and check it, though, this evening. I'm just glad that the job is done to this point, so that we can move on and maybe focus on getting a few wires on each side now in the next week or 2, and put our focus back on getting our wooden beams installed that are going to push the roof up even more. It's going to be that whole combination, I hope, that really reinforces this aluminum roof. That's a lot of hoping in there, but hey, sometimes that's all you got to go on, especially when it comes to RV restoration, apparently. In the meantime, I want to take a moment here and talk about a few side projects that we're also going to be starting to focus on here in the next few weeks on the MT and me. We still, of course, have a lot of work to do on the engine itself. For example, I have brand new radiator hoses here. Now, we're not quite ready to put the radiator back on, so it makes no sense to put the hoses on at this point, but I've got them and they're ready. I also have a brand new thermostat to install whenever we do that. All right. Here's the oil filter, brand new oil filter, and there's a whole keg of oil back here in the back of Pearl. So changing the oil is also on the agenda. That's one thing I really want to do. Now, the big holdup there, of course, has been the fact that we broke the dipstick tube off, trying to, actually just taking the dipstick out. The tube and everything came with the dipstick. It broke off in the engine block, and it's still there. I have, from time to time, gone back to that and just tried the same thing over again, or maybe a little new method about some way to dig it out without even having the camera on it, because it frankly had gotten to be just kind of routine that I dig and pry and nothing would happen. So we're going to have to make a concerted effort to try and get that piece out so that we can get the new dipstick holder in, the dipstick tube, get it installed, and change the oil. So once we do that, Well, we can change the transmission fluid. I don't have fluid, but I do have a brand new filter and a brand new gasket, which you buy the filter, you get the gasket with it, to go around the pan. So we can drop that pan, drain all the transmission fluid, and get that changed out as well. And that's going to give us a chance to see. You always look in your pan to be sure that you don't have like transmission parts laying in there, because that would be very bad. I have no reason to believe that there's going to be a problem with Pearl. She was obviously very well maintained by her previous owners. And even though she sat up for a long, long time, really nothing went wrong over that period of time. Right now, even though I haven't changed the oil in the engine is full of oil. And it actually looks pretty good. You know, I think the engine would run with what's in there. But it has been sitting for years and years, so naturally I want to change it. Same thing with the transmission fluid. I figure it's probably okay. I doubt that it's burned up or anything like that, but nonetheless, you want to start fresh. So there's all that to be done. I've got a brand new set of belts, accessory belts to go on the front of the engine. There are 3 of them on Pearl, so I've got those ready to install. We'll get those back on. I do have to put the alternator back on. You may remember we took the alternator off, gave it a thorough cleaning and check out. It seems to be okay. We'll get it reinstalled. Got to get the fuel pump back on. As near as I can tell, the manual fuel pump works just fine. And it was in the circuit and operating. We still don't know for sure about that electric pump that we have found coming out of the tank. Got to do some double checking on it. I haven't gotten it to work yet, but I think I may have to actually remove it, maybe blow it out, do a little cleaning, and see if it is indeed still good. So we've got all that on the agenda of things to do on Pearl. And then there's the brakes. Remember the brakes? Whenever we first got Pearl, the left rear wheel was locked up. We had to drag her off the transport trailer because that wheel would not turn. They had literally drug her onto the trailer whenever they loaded her up in Nebraska. And then we drug her back off down here. And I finally got into that wheel, and after at least 2 weeks, maybe more, there are several past videos focused completely on trying to find out what was wrong there. We eventually got it completely off, got the brake drum off. The brake drum was locked up tight. We got it loose, got it off, and discovered that it was all messed up inside. The brake pad had slid and had jammed itself against the drum, so where it literally would not work. Everything was torn up. So, just to keep moving at the time, I just gutted that whole assembly. Took all the brake work out of it. The old cylinder may still be in there, but that would be the only thing that's left. So it's completely gutted. There's no trace of a brake in that left rear wheel right now. And as a result of that, the emergency brake is loosened up and disconnected. The entire brake system is down because it's opened up. So I've got to get a kit and completely rebuild that left rear brake, and when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do the right rear brake as well, although I haven't even gotten it off. It seems to be working fine, just on a kind of a random, test. It seems like it was okay, but it's not going to hurt to replace all that stuff anyway, and that'll make them even, both brand new. The front disc brakes, I haven't even looked at them. I, honest to goodness, haven't even looked to see what kind of shape the discs are in or the pads. I don't, here again, foresee a severe problem there by any means, but they do need to be checked out. So that's a lot of stuff, very important stuff. Even if we get the motor running, we really can't move Pearl around much until we've got a good braking system on her. And that means, in addition to checking out the 4 individual wheel brakes, to check out the master cylinder as well and be sure everything's kosher with all that. So I guess my point in reviewing all this is there's plenty of work to do. I feel like I'm almost piddling around with this business on the roof. But I kind of got off on this tangent in order to get it sealed up. I do want to get the roof, waterproof. Right now it's tarped over and it's not leaking, and that is good because all this leaking we've had on the inside was causing damage and would continue to cause damage unless we did something about it. So I kind of put everything else on hold to address that, and so that's what we're doing right now. It's looking at the reinforcing the roof itself and then getting a coating to seal it back up. So we've got all that on the agenda too. With weather moving into winter and getting a little iffy though, it's not the best time to be looking at working on the outside of a roof because you've got unpredictable weather and conditions. So that may put us working on some of these other side projects once again in the very near future. Point is, we're not stopping with Pearl's restoration by any means. We might have slowed down in a few of the categories, but they're all still there. It all still has to be done. I am very aware of that, and I have every intention of addressing each and every one of those issues. I had said earlier this year that I wanted to get Pearl's motor running by the end of summer. Well, summer's gone. The motor's not running. It's a lot closer to it than it was. And so I'm kind of updated maybe by the end of the year. We'll be able to turn that engine over, and we still might not have a full gas system to power her up and keep things rolling, but at least I'll know that it works. That's the big thing. So, some exciting times are ahead. I hope you will stay with me here on the MT and Me, okay? And I want to give you the heads up on next week's video. This coming weekend is the single biggest festival here in my little town of Crossett. Now, we've been to the rodeo already this year. That's probably, arguably, the biggest event that happens. But when it comes to festivals, we have the Wiggins Cabin Festival. And we were there last year here on the video with the MT and Me. I'm going to take you back this year again and show you a lot of the festivities that'll be going on. We have predictions for some absolutely perfect weather. I mean sunny and 70 degrees. So we'll have to hope that works out. And the dragon boat races are back. If you remember those from last year, they've got twice as many boats this time, more races than ever before. So that's going to be exciting. We'll get as much of that as we can too. And right in the middle of the festival, there's supposed to be a partial solar eclipse. Now, that's just pure coincidence that it worked out that way. But hey, we might even get some of that for you here on the MT and Me video as well. I know they always tell you don't look directly at the sun during a solar eclipse because it can damage your eye. I'm going to have to do a little research and see if it can damage your camera, because otherwise I'll point one of these puppies at the sun and we'll just see what it looks like. I'll have to do a little checking on that. But one way or the other, we will also cover the solar eclipse. Now, this isn't that really big total eclipse you're talking about. That's going to be next April 2024. This is what they call an annular eclipse. The sun here in our part of Arkansas is probably going to be between 65 and 70% obscured by the shadow of the moon. Okay, so not quite a total eclipse, but enough to make a difference. So we got that to look forward to. All that coverage will be coming up next week here on the MT and Me. Be sure and join us. Thank you for joining us this time around as we did a little more wiring work, and plus I've been rambling about things in the near future, laying out some plans for you. I like to share this with you so that we both stay on the same page and we know what's coming up. I appreciate your support so much, my Nomies. You're the guys that keep me going with this, okay? If you have not subscribed, please do so. If you like this video and the others, give me a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know you're watching and you appreciate it, and it tells them to spread the word among other viewers and put that video out there in recommendations for lots of other viewers. That'll help me a lot, help the channel a lot, okay? So, hey, thumbs up, please. There's a link below to buy me a coffee if you'd like to help out monetarily with the Pearl Restoration Project. There's also a link to our website, themtandme.com. Check it out. And check us out each and every Sunday morning right here on YouTube. Till next time around, and the Wiggins Cabin program that'll be coming up for next week. Thanks again for being here this week. I love you, my nomies. I'm Russ. And as always, we are gonna talk later.